Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. This is a special episode. But I'm going to start by saying I am your host, the protege, Jay McName.
And I'm your co-host, the big bad Booty Daddy.
And I'm your third co-host, Henduce.
And I would like to introduce my boy, my right hand man of destruction, King Reezy. What's going on, Reezy? How you doing?
I'm doing good, feel good. I'm proud to be on here with you guys today.
And ladies and gentlemen, with no further more, I would like to introduce to you the ECW hardcore legend himself, former ECW champion, two-time ECW tag team champion, 8-time WWE hardcore champion, former member of X Factor. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Credible.
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
Happy to be
Give
here,
it up
man.
for Justin,
Happy to
man.
be talking to you guys. Thank you for having me.
Name, but Justin, by far, when I was young, had still by far the coolest wrestling name ever. But
yeah.
Not good. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
Go ahead, Reezy. Oh.
Yeah, so for y'all who I'm sure everybody knows who Justin is, but for y'all that don't know, let's take a look at see so I can remind y'all who Justin is real quick.
Check it out, yo. Feel the rhythm on the bass mark, man up. Feel the rhythm on the bass mark. Hip and the drum and come the run, bless me. Jump it up, it up. Bite all my stress.
Nice little video package there.
glad you like it. We glad you like it, Justin. So, Justin, man, we just want to start off, man. Just tell us how you got into the wrestling business, where you from, and what got you into loving wrestling.
I was always, since I was probably like really young, like I loved wrestling. I mean, since I remember watching, this is how old I am. I remember watching on an old black and white TV with the rabbit ears. I don't know if you guys know what rabbit ears are. Like
the antenna. Yeah.
And I watched Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik on Saturday mornings to become the WWF World Champion. So that's when I first started watching wrestling. And and I was like that was 83, so I was probably like 11 years old. And since high school, I knew I wanted to be a pro wrestler. I didn't know how though. I mean, this is way before the internet. And when I was 18, 19, I graduated high school. Didn't really want to go to college at that time. And I was working and I had a 15-minute break. I worked at a supermarket. And this is when wrestling magazines were really big. And I was like, in my 15-minute break, I was checking out the wrestling magazines. And on the back of one of them, there was an advertisement for a pro wrestling school, which I'd never heard of one, right? I didn't know how to get into the business. It wasn't like it is today. And it was for the Hart brothers, Bret Hart's family, the famous Hart brothers in Calgary. And I took the information down and, I called them, and 6 months later, I was in Calgary, Canada. I'm from Connecticut, so I'm all the way out east. So I flew all the way up to Calgary, and in the summer of '92, I graduated high school in '91. So the summer of '92, I went up to Calgary to train with the Hearts and to be a pro wrestler.
So while you was up there in Calgary, is it true that your classmates, you was up there with Chris Jericho and Lance Storm?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they were actually, to be honest, they were a year before me, but they would come around all the time. Yeah, they were there the year before me in the same exact place. So yeah, absolutely.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
I'm sorry. Is it true, Justin? Hey, how you doing, Justin? Nice to meet you. Hey, I want to say, definitely want to say this real quick. You have one of the best names in pro wrestling. I always loved your name. It's incredible. Such a great play on on words with your name. Just incredible. Also, a quick question. Was it as tough learning in Stu Hart's gym as they say it is? Like
Yeah.
just learning and just learning all the moves, the technical moves, and everything.
It was the wrestling stuff wasn't that hard. It was actually, I'm not going to say it was easy, but I'm a quick, it's kind of like I was doing backyard wrestling when I was a kid before it was cool. Like when I was a kid, like me and my friends, we all loved wrestling. We'd do it in the backyard with mattresses. And it's kind of like you already knew how to do it. Like I knew all the moves. But what the Hearts did were they wanted you to respect the business and respect the ring. So it wasn't even about the wrestling that was so hard as they like made you do 500 squats, like free squats, make you run, make you do push-ups, like all the, hitting the ropes, taking bumps. Like they would make you do drills all day. Like, you know what I mean? Like to try to beat you down, to kind of wean out who was serious and who really wanted it, because back then kayfabe was still really a thing. So they didn't want to just bring anybody into the business because that's their name, right? It means there's value to it. So they really wanted to make sure. Like I remember when I started, 9 or 10 kids entered that camp in '92, and just me and another kid by the name of Brett Farrell, who made it out of the camp, but he didn't really make it in the business. We were the only two to make it out of the 10 kids that started. So like they, kids would drop out immediately sometimes. So yeah, it was a hard process. It was really tough.
So how long was the your stay in Calgary? Like, was it hard for you to adjust when you had to go to Calgary? Like the weather, food and stuff like that?
It wasn't too bad. It was 8 weeks during the summer, so it wasn't too bad. But after the 8 weeks was done, and I learned, I came back to Connecticut and, just relaxed, stayed with my family. And then a couple of months later, I went back to Calgary because they were starting this new promotion called Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling with Jericho and Lance Storm and a bunch of, like, I wish there's some videotapes out there, VHS tapes. I mean, some stuff is on YouTube, but not all of it. I wish there was. But like they were doing a promotion there. And I was there for 8 weeks from October to Christmas of '92, which is where I had my first 10 matches because they ran every Friday in Calgary. And it was amazing. Like I got to work with Jericho. I got to work with Lance. I got to work with guys that were there from New Japan, like Beef Wellington and Jerry Morrow, which are Calgary legends back in the day. So it was a great learning experience and a great way to start, my kind of tenure in wrestling, learning the ropes.
So I have a quick. So
go ahead,
back in '93, I think you had a stiff WWF appearance as Aldo Montoya, was it? Or was that it? Or what was your name? Because you wore a mask, right? Was that you?
Well, my first WWF stuff was PJ Walker.
It was PJ Walker. Okay.
As a jobber.
Okay.
And then from there in '94, I got an opportunity to do the Aldo Montoya Portuguese Man of War character from '94 to '97, which was my first real run as a guy. You know what I mean? A name and, not a jobber,
And you had a little thing with Austin in the ring, right?
I did, yeah.
That
Me
was interesting.
and Steve are still cool to this day, man. We worked a lot together.
Wow.
Yeah, how did that come about? Like, who came up with the gimmick? And was that like
with the Aldo gimmick?
Yeah, was that something
that was something that, like, how you've heard the stories on how they had the ringmaster and all his names. That same thing. They had drawn up this character, Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese Man of War, and they were looking for somebody to fill it. And I'm really Portuguese. I really speak it. That's legit. And they, Pat Patterson and Vince McMahon found out that I was Portuguese. So I was just, again, in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? And I just got lucky, and they were looking for a Portuguese wrestler. And I just was right there. I was already doing jobs for them, so they already knew me. Okay. And, I got my first contract because of that.
Is it true? Is it true that that gimmick was supposed to be a soccer player? But
it is. Yes. Because originally the World Cup was like, a big deal, and they wanted to have me kick soccer balls out. It was during that '90s era where like it was real shitty gimmicks. They wanted me to kick soccer balls out into the crowd, and but that didn't end up working out. I don't know why. I was gonna I was 19 years old. I would have done anything they wanted. So I was just lucky to be there. So they changed it over to the Power Ranger jockstrap kind of gimmick.
Did you ever propose any gimmicks of your own that you wanted to do, like to change out of what they had presented to you?
Not then. No. God, I was too young, too inexperienced, and two. That's not in those days. You couldn't really do that. I mean, towards the end of the Aldo run, when I saw okay, I've done it for 3 years. It's not going anywhere. I went to Vince. I had a meeting with Vince at the offices in Stamford because it's the WWE headquarters is only 45 minutes from my house to this day. I'm still in Connecticut, and I went over and talked to Vince, and I was like, dude, I want to be a heel. I'm starting to get really good. I'm starting to get experience. I want to do more.
Yeah.
And and I want, and he that's when he sent me to Memphis to kind of learn how to be a heel, and they were going to repackage me, but I didn't have a gimmick for them at the time. No, okay. I just knew I wanted to be more, reality based, because that's kind of where the business was going with the NWO and with what was going on in ECW, etc.
Okay.
So speaking of ECW, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I know you stayed in WWF for a while. How did you hear and who approached you about ECW? Because I know when Paul brought you there, at first you didn't cut your hair right away when you first came to ECW, right?
Yeah. Well, my hair was already because I was going bald since I was young, so I always kept it short. But no, the ECW gimmick just kind of came about organically. I just had not even a tryout. I got there because of Chris Candido, Skip from the WWF.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, and he was a good friend of mine, and he was tight with Paul, and they were looking for guys. They were looking for guys with television experience and guys that could work. And it all just kind of blended together real quickly. It happened real quick, and they had a name, Just Incredible, but they didn't have a guy to fill it. So again, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and I figured Scott Hall was the one that told me. He goes, dude, you're losing your hair anyways. Why don't you just shave it? At least you'll look cool. Yeah. So I just started to shave my hair.
I swear, Scott Hall is a living genius. As it was a living like a legend. He was a genius.
I hear a lot of people say it about Scott.
I have that same problem, but I'm just not ready to cut my hair yet. So
let it go. Let it go, Jay. Let it go. I had to let mine go. Justin. I had to let it go.
I don't got that issue.
So Lord. Justin, when you got there, they put when you turned to Just Incredible, they put the machine behind you. Like Paul Heyman saw a lot in you. He wanted you to be the top heel. You went undefeated for 2 months before you finally lost to Mikey Ripwreck, I believe. That was your first loss?
Absolutely, yep.
So, how was his approach? Did you see the vision that he had when he was telling it to you? Or
no.
You was like, yo, this guy's crazy?
No, I that's the thing is I think people have the misconception that we know. A lot of time, I didn't know anything. Literally, they would only tell you what they wanted day to day, show to show. You'd show up and be like, PJ, you're working with this guy. You're gonna go over but I never knew not until way later in my career did I get kind of cued in on where I was going and who I was working with. But no, I never had any idea how far he wanted to go. You just kind of kept your mouth shut, did the best job you could, right? And hoped for the best, because that's what you do in wrestling. You don't really, and today it sounds like it, when people read the internet, they think it's really different. Oh, this guy doesn't like this or that. Dude, we didn't say shit. We just did what we were told, and and glad we were there, because it was rough we were just happy to have a job. You know what I mean? If you bitched, you were out. So we just did our job the best of our ability, and what happened, and I was blessed for it,
So you killed that gimmick. You killed that gimmick, man.
Thank you, man. I tried.
So around that time, because they say the Attitude Era, if you wasn't, you had to really show out in order to be on a show. So was it hard, like in ECW, you had guys like RVD, Sabu, Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, guys like that? Was it hard to stand out then?
I thought it would be, but in a way, they were. Here's my take on it. I mean, I knew I was good in the ring. I knew I was top tier in the ring. I knew I could hang with anybody. Not to be cocky, but I knew I was good. You know, I'd had all that. I was the only one there with 3 years of WWF experience. You know what I mean? Doing house shows, wrestling 200 dates a year, pay-per-views, etc. And I think Paul saw that because they were doing more and more television. They were starting to go into pay-per-views. And I think Paul wanted to get guys that had television experience, that knew how to be on television, knew how to work the camera. You know what I mean? Like, because when you're on TV, like, you just assume like the cameras catch everything. You have to like face the hard camera. You have to know where things are at. And if you don't have that experience, it's not gonna be as easy or as good. So I think Paul recognized this kid is untapped. He's got experience. He's young, and I could do something with. You know what I'm saying? And make him one. Make him one of my own. And I and I always tried to hit a home run for him. I mean, he was a great guy to work for.
Paul must have really been a great guy to work for. But
it was amazing.
So you made. So I don't remember what your first match was, but if I'm not mistaken, you and Jerry Lynn made your ECW debut around the same time.
Together, the same day. That was us.
Together in the same day.
Yes.
That must have. Did you and Jerry Lynn, were you guys cool before that?
No. I mean, he was a nice guy and we liked one another immediately, but no, I did not know him at all. Okay. I knew of him. I had heard of him, but no, we just went out there and first time we met was that day, and we just had a great match, and we had great chemistry.
And you and Lance Storm was actually your trainer.
Exactly. So that worked out. That worked out immensely.
Oh,
that
was amazing. You guys together was like milk and cereal. Like you guys just connected.
Yeah, it was super effortless, but also we knew, like, he knew my strengths and my weaknesses. Like what I was, he was not, and what he was, I was not. Like I was more of the, guys with the jean shorts and the fucking the t-shirt and the cane, and he was more of the technical wrestler. So we almost like, opposites attract, and as a team, it worked nicely. And the fact that he trained me pretty much, and we were up in Calgary together, was just like we trusted each other. There was a camaraderie, there was a friendship, and it was really neat. And I never would have guessed that in a million years.
And your mic skills was just impeccable, by the way. You had some dope mic skills.
Well, and that's the funny thing too, is before then I really didn't do any promos. So like my promos my promos had gotten better after ECW closed, which is a shame. But because I didn't get much promo time in the WWE. But I mean, I wish I would have gotten to showcase that a bit more somewhere else, but unfortunately I didn't. But yeah, thank you, I appreciate that.
So Justin, when did Paul? So when did Paul trust you to, or how does, let me not say trust you, but how does the process work? This, I should better phrase the question. How does the process work where the promoters like Paul or Vince will trust you more to give like your own creative input to a character?
I think just with Paul, it was like more as I progressed in the company. Could I be trusted that I'm not going to leave? Do I have a good relationship? I think it's like anything else in life. It's based on relationships. I had a great relationship with Paul. We would talk on the phone, he would confide in me. And like, I think at some point he trusted me. He never stiffed me on money like a lot of people got stiffed. I think he knew that because I had a family at that time. I was married and stuff. And he was just, we always had a good back and forth. And I think having that bond with the promoter, and that's why a lot of guys like Sean and Hunter and, Steve Austin and whoever, Taker, are friends with Vince. I think that's like where you need to have that bond with the guy you're working with. You know what I mean? And Paul and I trusted one another. And, even when I had a chance to go to WCW, I didn't. I chose to stay in ECW because I felt I could do more in a smaller promotion. than, let's say, get lost in a bigger promotion in WCW, for example. I'd rather be number one for a third promotion than way down at the bottom of the card for a bigger promotion. Because the money was the same anyways. I was making great money in ECW. I was making $3,000 a week, which is 150 grand a year. I know it's not millions, but still, for 2 days a week, wrestling Friday and Saturday, 1,500 or $3,000 a week is pretty damn good.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'll take that. I'll take that today.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it is pretty good. Yeah, absolutely.
So Justin, what was it like being in the ring with Sabu, man?
He was scary at first because I didn't know him, but once I did get to know him, he was just so good, and he's one of my best friends to this day. I still talk to him. I still see him on the road once in a while, and he's really one of the best. You know, I love that dude to death, man. One of the true innovators of this business, and I don't think he gets the credit he deserves for how he kind of changed the business. You know, because he was the first guy to do a lot of the crazy shit we see today. You know, if you think about it.
So, what was your thoughts when you first seen Rob Van Dam live?
Wow is what I thought. I was like, holy shit. And he was wild, dude. That cat was wild back in ECW. Like, he was stiffing motherfuckers. He was not afraid to kick you in the face for real. So I was like, huh?
I said, wow, okay.
Oh, yeah, I was scared of Rob. I mean, him and I are friends. We're cool to this day.
Yeah.
And I never got to wrestle him in ECW. I wrestled him only once in WWE. And but he was in ECW. He was, you know, and he admits it. He was a little snug. And I was like, oh, man, please don't put me with him. He's going to kill me. Because Rob laid it in there, you know.
So what was it like? You know Lance for years. What was it like winning the tag team champion with one of your good friends, the guy you came into business with?
It was like a dream come true. It was. I can't even. It sucks to talk about it sometimes because like I miss it so much. But it was such a special time because you really are. You're doing it with like one of your boys. Like, you know what I mean? You trust him as a human being. You know his wife. You know his family. We're traveling up and down the road together, so it really feels like a unit, you know. And it was just great, man. I mean, we're doing something we love. We're getting pushed. We're one of the best tag teams in the world. It was just great times, man. And we're doing something really cool because ECW. I always attribute it kind of like we were like the punk rock of wrestling. We were like kind of that underground cool thing that was happening, you know. And we were so proud of that. So I couldn't believe it. You know, I was very lucky.
Yeah, cause I remember around that time, like WWE was like the big thing around that time. I remember like maybe like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. I was like, ECW, what's this? And it was something different. And I was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. I need to start checking this out. So I was investing every week. But as far as the invasion angle, I think that was that could have been way better than what it actually was.
Agreed. Yes.
What was your take on that? Like what if you had a chance to go back and rebook it and everything? How would you book it?
I would have booked it. Listen, I was in, and I don't know specifics anymore. I don't remember, and I don't watch tape of this stuff. I hate watching myself back. But I was in the ring. I don't remember who I was tagging with. It might have been Raven. I don't know. I was in there with another ECW guy, and we did an angle where like it looked like, you know, before the invasion started, it looked like ECW was becoming a faction. And Heyman came down and we kind of did this thing where we turned on the WWE. So at that time, it was like ECW was its own entity, WWE was its own entity, and then WCW was its own entity before they joined it together. And I think if they kept all three separate, instead of mixing it and turning it into the alliance, it was lazy booking because like you literally had the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Absolutely.
The three promotions that mattered in the 90s. In 2001, you have them all, and you can't fucking even keep that straight. So they just, at the end of the show, I remember we were in Atlanta, Georgia. I think we were at the Georgia Dome, if I'm not mistaken. Big crowd. And we did the turn, and we did the ECW thing at the 9 o'clock hour. And then at the 10 o'clock hour, we turned it into the Alliance. And I remember the vibe we got from the crowd at the 9 o'clock hour when we were out there live was super hot. And then when the Alliance and Shane McMahon and that whole thing went down and we merged it, I felt the room go flat, and the fans were just like, "Oh, that sucks." And that's what the fans thought. That's what we thought. But again, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge wasted opportunity that I don't understand how anybody could have fucked that up.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I definitely agree with you, Justin, 100%. I always thought, well, in my mind, I thought when Vince purchased WCW that he was going to keep it as a separate promotion, and that they were going to, like, on special occasions kind of merge in and out,
Right.
on certain pay-per-views and stuff, and have cross champions and cross brands. And I thought that's what Vince was going to do, especially with ECW as well, because again, like you're absolutely right. He had the Super Bowl. He had all three promotions in his hand,
And he
and
could
it
have
would have
done
been
that
amazing.
too.
Yeah, he
He
could
could
have.
have done that.
Yeah. But I definitely agree with you 100%. I thought that's what he was going to do, but yeah, he definitely merged everything together, and that definitely changed a lot.
He
It
could have
just
made big money.
it's somebody there on the inside doesn't want to do the hard work, because it would take a lot of hard work to kind of book the angles correctly to do three different entities, right? But they rather just put it all together and just do one big thing, because in their minds it only matters if it's Rock and Austin anyways at that time, which they weren't half wrong, but how much more could they have gotten out of it if they would have done it the other way?
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, in my mind, I kind of seen it as like, yeah, you have Rock and Austin in WCW, but then you have like Just Incredible, RVD, Taz and EC. Well, I'm sorry,
Right.
Just Incredible, RVD,
Yeah.
and ECW, and then you have WCW. We have Scott Steiner, you have Booker T,
T.
and then
Yeah.
and then you can still build those stars in separate promotions, but
Yes.
also those separate promotions did have their own separate bookers.
Yes.
As well. I mean, even though he did purchase them, he could have kept them separate and
He
then
could have
kind of
done it all.
gave his
Yeah.
ideas to those different bookers. And
Yeah, he could have done it all. But again, I think it comes down to, does he trust people?
yeah,
And I don't think he had the relationships that is necessary to maybe trust so many people. And, wrestling's a weird thing, man. Wrestling, there's a lot of backstabbing and a lot of craziness. So maybe it was just a way to contain all these names and all these things. But yeah, they screwed up. They could have had dream matches for years, bro.
Yeah.
But whatever, it is what it is.
So Justin, we just lost another ECW legend in Terry Funk. How was he a big influence on you backstage when you was in ECW?
Oh God, yeah. Terry and I became great friends. I learned so much from him. It was really hard to lose Terry. I had heard about a year ago that he was starting to suffer from dementia and Parkinson's. I'd spoken to his wife before she passed away, and then Tommy Dreamer had talked to him, and we knew it was bound to happen sooner than later. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to speak to Terry again or to see him. I saw him probably 3-4 years ago, but he was a great friend, and a great influence and mentor in my career. He helped me so much. Just being around him, traveling with him. I ran a convention, an autograph convention in Connecticut in 2009 or 2010, and I had him here. He was at my house, and we hung out, drank some beers, did a couple of indie shows together, and just great times, and to be around somebody like that, where you're constantly, even though you're just talking shit, it's still about wrestling, and it's still, you're always learning, because even one of Terry's crazy wrestling stories, it's still fun and you're still learning. He was just such a gold mine. You're not going to see anybody like that again, ever, unfortunately.
Wow. You mentioned
you guys.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
You guys had a lot of guys that were ahead of their time during that ECW run. You guys, I see a lot of guys today. A lot of guys today, they look like they steal a lot of moves from guys like Kid Cash and Supernova.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't give those guys their credit. I know you got to see those guys almost every night. What was it like being around guys like that was ahead of their time like that?
It was just, it was what it was about, man. That's what ECW was. And, it's crazy that that ECW still, I think we get a lot of credit now, but I don't think that, people like Kid Cash or Supernova will ever get the credit they truly deserve, because they would come up with stuff that was, back then was unheard of. Now it's like, it's easy because there's so much Mexican lucha libre influence and so many high flyers. But this was stuff that was being done kind of like, out of nowhere. Like they were really trying things that had never been done, which was really cool. So again, it was a special time and something I don't think will ever be replicated again, unfortunately.
Yeah, the question I wanted to ask you was, so you mentioned trust, right? Trust with the promoters,
Sure.
Trust in the industry. Like, how important? Because as you were explaining how you would get a gimmick, you would move with the gimmick or go with that gimmick. You didn't kind of like really, voice your ideas until you kind of really built that trust with the promoter. But how important was like really trust in the promotion working as a wrestler? Like, just like how important was it building that trust? Like, because to get an idea of like how it is to, like, if I was to be a person who trying to be inspired to be a wrestler, like how important it is to build that trust with the promoter and also with other performers alongside you.
Well, I mean, it's really like, because the promoter is technically it's the company you're working for, and it's going to determine how you get paid, what you get paid. If you have an illness or need time off, how is that going to work? Are you going to if you do need a day off, are you going to get punished for it? Are you going to get are they going to be mad at you and book you in a bad position if something happens? You have to have that real conversation. Well, not the conversation, but you have to have that trust. And it's hard to explain. I mean, it takes nothing more than just putting the time in and really kind of feeling out process. But with Heyman, there was no other guy. It was just Paul. It was Paul. We didn't have an office at ECW. There were a couple of people. It was Paul Heyman. It was a couple of people on Ring Crew, a couple of the boys. Dreamer ran merchandise. Bubba Ray Dudley, he did some of the booking of the towns. There was this one lady, Deb, who kind of took care of the money and made sure the guys got paid and payroll. So, but you really kind of had to rely. You had to trust these people because they're the way you feed your family. I mean, I owned a home. Like I said, I had responsibilities. I knew that. I needed my check. I knew I needed my travel. I knew, you know what I mean? And you have to really, when you're not dealing with a big corporation, you need to know that this is going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's gonna all fall into place. And that's just, and it's on a handshake deal, which is unheard of nowadays. You know what I mean? It's about honor, and honor is a thing that you don't see too much of now, which is a shame. But you give someone your word, it means everything,
Does it make you feel old that, a lot of guys, the second and third generation, let's like Dominic Mysterio, the Usos, guys like that, Braun Breaker, like you wrestled with their dads and now you see them thriving at this moment. Like, does it make you feel like, dag, like I'm getting old?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Ray's still doing it at a high level, thank God. But I worked with Scott and Rick Steiner a lot. Those guys were fucking amazing. They were beasts in the ring. But yeah, all those cats, man. You really are starting to see that. But I mean, I'm 50 years old. I'm not dead yet, so it's still not. Hell, Flair wrestled till he was 70 something. So, But yeah, you do start to feel your age and to kind of see everything that has happened and everything that's happening now, and it's like, wow, it's like, it's almost like two different worlds. Like when I watch AEW, I do Vince Russo and I do an AEW review show on his channel for his Patreon, and I've been doing it since the inception of AEW. We've done it almost 4 years now, and watching AEW and those guys, it's like they almost like disrespect the old guys and the veterans and the history of the business. In some ways, I've heard a lot of bad things. Maybe that's why I think Punk got into it with some of the younger talent. And that's one of the things that we were taught not to do. And it was like to respect your elders in the business, because you know what, even though you think you know it all, there's a reason why it's done a certain way. And now I'm starting to see why it was like that, because now I'm on the other side. When I was a young kid, 23, doing Aldo, I didn't understand any of that shit. But now I see why. But I had to play the role at 23 and be kind to the old school cats and pay them my respect. And I think that's a lost art these days. And it's a shame, because there's a lot to learn in the history of this business.
So, Justin, the night you win the ECW championship, the first time. You know, Dreamer wins it. He's having his moment. What's going through your mind knowing that you're about to ruin Dreamer's biggest ECW moment ever?
Well, you believe it or not, I found out literally 10 minutes beforehand.
Wow.
Whose
I didn't
idea
know
was
at
that?
all.
Whose idea was that?
But that was Heyman's idea. Well, I think Dreamer never wanted to be champion. And Dreamer, I think's idea was because he was always like the guy that loses, right? That was his gimmick. And I think if Paul was going to give him the belt, he would want to lose it immediately. So I think the idea to drop it to me was Dreamer's, but anyways, Paul didn't tell me until like 10 minutes beforehand. So it was wild.
Does that have anything to do with his, like, you know, him being Tommy Dreamer, right? Because I seen an interview where Tommy Dreamer spoke about that, and he said his gimmick was to be that guy that everybody cheers for, that almost wins it or is close to winning it, but he never kind of gets it. So
exactly, that's exactly what that's supposed to be. Yes.
And was that really true? Was like that's why he was named Tommy Dreamer, because he was the guy that was trying to aspire to reach that dream, but never really kind of fulfilled it, or if he did fulfill it, like it just went through his hands like sand, like, okay.
Yep,
okay.
Absolutely. Yep, 100%.
So when my question is, me and House had this conversation. So when you won the ECW championship, were you the last ECW champion? Because it says two different names. It says you were the last one to win it, and then it says Rhino was the last person to win it. It says you won it at a pay-per-view called CyberSlam.
I know. I lost it at CyberSlam. No, I won it at CyberSlam. I won it at CyberSlam, lost it to Jerry Lynn at Anarchy Rules, and then I think Rhino won it at the last pay-per-view in like a 4-way.
That makes sense. Got it.
Yeah, because I just watched it where he just interfered when that Sandman won it. Rhino came down and he says, I'm tired of being a TV champ. We don't have no TV deal. Yeah.
And
I remember that.
And another thing, during the time, because I know right when ECW was going down, you kind of straight jumped to WWF.
Yes.
And you started X Factor with X-Pac and Prince Albert.
Yes.
How did that come about, and whose idea was that?
I literally just emailed Jim Ross when ECW folded. Jim Ross was head of talent relations. JR gave me a contract. I agreed. I was told to go to Monday Night Raw in New York City somewhere. I think it was the Meadowlands or the Garden, or so, I don't know. Maybe it might have been one of those places. And we formed X Factor. I mean, I don't know who came up with it. I'm assuming the writers and Vince did.
Okay.
But you know, it made sense because the roster was so stacked. X-Pac and I would have we're a good heel tag team, and I think, you know, they had the Dudleys there, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys, so there were plenty of people to feud with. So I think that was the initial idea until the invasion happened, which was we weren't expecting that, and then that kind of broke everybody up, you know.
Was there any major plans for X? Like, were there any?
We were supposed to win the belts.
X Factor.
Okay. We were supposed to win the tag belts, but then the invasion angle happened, and I went with WCW or with ECW, the Alliance, and then that's how we broke up.
Okay.
So Justin, when you was in ECW, go ahead, Henry. Go ahead.
So how was it working with X-Pac? I know that you said in a past interview you were like, the sixth member of the clique.
Yeah, I loved working with Pac. I mean, Sean and I talked yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was my 50th birthday, and he hit me up to wish me a happy birthday. And
happy birthday, man.
Happy belated.
He's still one of my good friends in the business, so I love Sean to death.
So when you was in ECW, Justin, I got a question for you. What was your favorite place to perform? Was it the ECW arena in Philly, or was it the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City?
I would say those are both very close, but the Queens Elks Lodge. We did.
Are you originally from South Ozone Park?
No.
Okay.
But everybody thought I was, and the Elks Lodge was like they called it the Madhouse of Extreme, and it was on Queens Boulevard in Queens, New York.
Yeah, I remember. That was my first ECW show. I remember that.
You did? You went there?
Yeah, I used to live, and I'm too far from Queens Boulevard.
Oh my God, that place was wild, and the atmosphere was great there. But yeah, the arena then, I would say the arena, Elks Lodge first, the Arena second, and then the Hammerstein definitely. Those are definitely three of my favorites.
All right, so I have a two-part question for you. So we saw you paired with Beulah in ECW. Whose idea was that? And also, do you prefer to have a valet or like be by yourself?
I don't know who his idea it was, but I love having a valet. Because it just gives you so much, like an actor, right? It gives you something to, like a prop. It gives you another person to play off of. Gives you something to, just to work with, to in a promo to share lines with. They could help you interfere. You could involve them in cheating spots. You know what I mean? I love working with people. So yeah, I love working with her.
So if you were in let's say you was in WWE, let's say WWE for instance, and you could pick any valet that's currently out right now, who would you pick to be your valet?
Oh, I would take Ripley.
Rhea.
Good choice.
Rhea. Yeah.
She's amazing. She's amazing. She's amazing. Both in the ring, and I think she's sexy as hell.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, I agree.
We all
I agree.
We agree with you on that, Justin.
Yeah.
So Justin, what was it like having your own faction? Because you had the sexiest man in the world, Jason. You had Nicole Bass, who's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
And then later on, when you became champion, you also had Francine as your valet too. Well, what was that like having that faction? Impact players, you guys. What was that like traveling with everybody like that back then?
It was cool because it just made you, it made you feel important, kind of. You know what I mean? And you were kind of important because so many people revolved around your act, right? And also, again, it gave you more pieces of more things to play with, right? If you're booking a match, you could say, you pop up, you get knocked off the apron, then you come in and cause interference. Just gave you more pieces to play with. You know what I mean? Instead of it one-on-one match, you got to kind of have a straight match. This way, they can cause all kinds of interference. You could have fun in promos. You could do silly skits. It just gives your character more of a canvas to paint. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So back to ECW. I know you want. What was your greatest feud? You had plenty of them, and during your 2-month undefeated streak, you beat legends. But out of the guys that you feuded with, which one was you had the most fun in your favorite feud of ECW?
I would say the number one was Jerry Lynn. We had the best matches.
Oh yeah.
To this day, Heat Wave '98. We opened the show, and it was probably one of my favorite matches of all time. And it's still, people always quote, tell me about that match. And through the years, Jerry and I always had bangers. But again, another one would be Tommy Dreamer for sure, and Sabu as well.
So Justin, you mentioned you mentioned in the interview, you said that when you would go into a promotion, they would give you a gimmick and you just go with it. So is that still happening now? Because I remember there was an interview with Cody Rhodes when he left AEW. He goes to WWE. He said he sits down with Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon, he tells Vince this is the character I want to play in WWE, the American Nightmare. But is that still happening now? Where I know I could definitely see it happening in NXT, but as far as the main roster, is that still the process?
Not really. Okay. Very few people have that kind of cachet. Cody is obviously one of them. He's a huge star, was a huge star in AEW. Therefore, he could demand that from Vince. Well, not demand, but broker that, have that conversation. You have to be there. You know what I mean? Again, you have to have that kind of tenure, and you have to have that relationship. Again, because I heard that Vince McMahon flew to Cody Rhodes' house. And that doesn't happen. You usually go to Stanford. So obviously Cody had some, there was supply and demand, and and Vince met that demand. But real quick, guys, I gotta go soon because I gotta go to work in 20 minutes.
Okay. So don't worry about it. You good, Justin? Don't worry about it.
Let's wrap it up.
We'll get you out of here soon.
Right.
We'll get you out of here.
I got to do the night shift tonight. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. We appreciate this was real big for us.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I'd love to do it again. You guys I'm having a great time. I wish I didn't have to go to work. Trust me. This is
Oh
much
no,
more
we could
fun.
definitely do it again. We could definitely do this again, Justin. I appreciate your time. And anybody got anything else to ask Justin before we continue and let him go?
Just one last thing.
Sure.
The last days of ECW.
Yes.
What was that experience like? Your last show, closing the doors, saying goodbye to your loved ones and friends. you know.
As you would imagine, it was heartbreaking. I mean, we were all in tears. I remember we all got together in the ring, had a beer. Sandman came out, all of the baby faces and the heels came out. It was emotional because we really loved that place, and we made that place a great place to work, and we changed the wrestling world. Just a bunch of misfits,
Yeah.
in a non-corporate environment. So it was a beautiful thing, and it was a sad thing, and to this day, man, I wish it didn't go down like that, unfortunately, but it did. So you gotta move on.
I got one
Anybody
last
else?
question. I got one last question.
Yeah.
Besides wrestling, what do you like to do, man? Like in your free time?
That's a good question. I don't like. I mean, I don't do much because I work so much, but I work as a chef, a cook, so I love to cook even at home. And I love music, so I listen to a lot of music. I go see a lot of bands. I play guitar, so those things.
Before you go, Justin, one thing, and
Yes.
quick as you can, give me your thoughts on MJF.
I think he's the shit. I love him. I think he's doing great. I think he's kind of a throwback to the old school. He tries to kayfabe as much as he can and stay in character, especially on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. He's just I love what he does, and I think he's going to be the future. And I hope AEW could keep him around as the centerpiece because I think he's got a great potential. And I think when he does go to WWE, and of course I think he will someday, I think he's going to be the next big star.
All right.
All
I
right.
have one last question. I'm sorry, one last question, Justin. Sorry,
Sure.
I want to hold you. Yeah. So, do you think that AEW should invest? Should put everything on like new talent, like MJF, to build that promotion as much as they can, and not lose an MJF to a WWE so that they can become a rival company? Or do you think that MJF?
I think they should put it on as many young people as possible for sure, and help the older stars, help make those guys for sure, 100%. Yeah, because that's the future. They gotta create their own stars. Like I'll say it real quick. A couple of months ago, 6-7 months ago, Wardlow was on a winning streak, and he started to get really over. Almost like Goldberg style, because he was winning every week, blowing people out of the water. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, they took him off TV and cooled him off completely. They can't do that. They got to just, when they hit a stride with a certain person and it's starting to work, you got to help blow them up. And they'll find their way, because I think AEW is great. I love what they're doing. I think they have a little bit of growing pains in the future, but I think it's important for pro wrestling. It's important for pro wrestlers, and I think we should all support AEW because it's a second product and it's an important product for you know what I mean, for everybody.
Right.
So, absolutely.
All right. Once again, thank you, Justin, for joining us, man. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. ECW Hardcore Legend, Justin Credible, man. Thank you, Justin.
It was a pleasure, guys. Thank you, and have a great night. I hope to hear from you soon.
All right,
you will.
Brother.
That was good, guys.
Dang, man, we just had Justin Credible in this show. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. It's crazy, man. The ECW legend, a world champion. It's crazy.
First and many to come.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir.
This was a fun show, by the way. First time me being on here, and I gotta say, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
This was a lot of fun.
We're happy to have you, King Rizzy.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. A lot of people, at first they be nervous and not know what to expect, and once they get in the flow of things, and they be like, "Oh, okay, it's not that bad. I like it." So
that's me. That was me right there. That was me. I was like,
what you call it? Henry was like, "Yeah, man, I'm starting to get comfortable." I was like, "Yeah, man, this is it, man. That's it. Once you get comfortable, you get in the flow of just public speaking and just getting that rhythm. It just everything is just smooth sailing."
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you're talking about something that you love to watch. It's wrestling, man. We all grew up watching wrestling. Like, we had to hide it back in the day. Well, I had to hide it back in the day, because if I say I like wrestling, wrestling's fake, right? I'm like, a movie's fake too, right? Like,
exactly, right.
I was so tired explaining. Now it's like, man, even my brother, like one of my best friends, he's like, you know, wrestling's fake. I was like, yeah. So I mean, I like to watch it. What is that? What is gonna make a difference if you tell me
Right.
that?
Exactly. Yeah, people say the same thing to me, like, you know, wrestling. Yeah, I know. And I say, you know, it's so funny, Henry, because I say the exact same thing. I say, yeah, you know, movies are fake, right? But you watch it. But yeah, but we know that movies are scripted. Yeah, we know wrestling is fake and it's scripted too. Like, dude, you don't see the parallel that I'm, you know,
Yeah.
laying before you. Like, it's the same thing. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but yeah,
remember
like,
going to school, man. I remember going to school, and I was like, when I found that one wrestling friend, I'm like, "Yo, you watch it? Yo."
yeah,
We were just talking about, "Yeah, you saw WrestleMania," and then all the other
Mhm.
friends were like, "Why are you talking about wrestling?" This is when I was in like 5th grade, man, 4th grade.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
told you, I said once now that wrestling is on ESPN, I'm like, yeah, y'all can't say nothing now. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah, you
saying? Like,
can't say shit now.
And it's also thanks to Logan Paul, man. I mean, he's he's bringing out a new audience, and he's bringing it mostly to mainstream. So also with
Bad
Bad
Bunny too.
Bunny, also Bad
Yeah.
Bunny, you know, that all that is like, yo, okay. Like a lot of people watched that Royal Rumble when Bad Bunny was in it. Like people were like, yo, like people that don't even watch wrestling was like, yo, we just saw Bad Bunny. We just saw Bad Bunny in the Royal Rumble. And then those kind of wrestling fans are like, oh, he's gonna win the world champion. But really, the real fans are like, nah, he's just there to, you
right?
know.
Right.
Even
Speaking of movies, like even with The Rock, like The Rock leaving WWE to go to Hollywood, you know, and then you got people who become fans of his movies can now come back to wrestling when he shows up and then check out wrestling itself. So it's so interesting
Mm-hmm.
how the worlds can intertwine into each other. But again, sports entertainment, that magical word entertainment, how it just crosses from movies to music to social media, and how fans or people can just be interested in one thing, and then because they like that person, see them in another, arena, and then like them in that arena, whether it be, YouTube or wrestling or a movie.
That's what like
Yep.
WCW did with Dennis Rodman and stuff like that. It's like you bring in another
Yeah.
core of fans to you bring in basketball fans to watch your show. Like, I mean, if I feel like if AEW has somebody big like that, or even if somehow Tony Khan gets money for Brock Lesnar to go over there, AEW is gonna skyrocket.
I feel like that was their goal when they brought in Punk. You know what I'm saying? A big name as far, and then he has his UFC following, but it just didn't pan out to how it works. And I always say too, it goes back to what Sa always said. It goes based off of visual, like AEW. We always say all the time, like if they had once they get big names, it's gonna be easy to watch. But I've to come to find out that it's just their production. Like they look like it's WCW production, like NXT. Like I tell one of my coworkers all the time. He hates NXTs because it looks like a small small venue. But if NXT was to go to a bigger venue, then they would get a whole lot more viewers and people watching it because it's easier to watch when you got a bigger arena outside of the the small venues.
Or I mean, or it could happen with what's happening at AEW now with these big venues. Like, I mean, it's also the production. Like, if you get the production right, the camera angles right, you can make something look good. You can make something look, and that's why I think
Yeah.
NXT looks good with that small arena because it looks good. Like you have the right camera angles, you have the right lighting and everything. And if AEW goes back to the hockey arenas, I think it would make it look good. And I mean, it's like what we talked about last Friday is that if AEW stops worrying about what WWE is doing, and they were doing it in the beginning, and like Keys, I never agreed with Keys, but Keys was right. They were doing their own thing, like those 4 pay-per-views. Yeah, we don't like them because we're used to like pay-per-view every month, but that's their own thing. They was doing that, but then it got to the point where it was all on Tony Khan, and Tony Khan is trying to do all this booking when he needs to trust people. Like if he trusts people, then you can get something. It can,
Right, like
Yeah, they did say that ECW was a small arena.
like the Guns. Like I think they have one of the best entrances, and that's all based off the camera angle, like how the camera goes around them. Now, if you got to just shoot looking straight at them from afar, they're like, oh, okay, the entrance is okay. But with the camera going around them, it adds an extra element to their entrance.
No, that
I
first
think
time
they need to put. I think they need to go back to the mini men.
yes, that's what I was about to say. When they first did that, I said, whoa. Like it was so perfect because it was like they just hit right on the beat when they did the gun stuff and it just I'm like, yo, but, you know, that's a lot of money. 50 probably asking for a lot of money for that song.
Yeah, he got a nice little check with that, man.
Yeah,
but they stopped using the music. They only used it on pay-per-views.
Yeah, I think they didn't have enough money for it.
I thought they only used it one time.
Yeah, they only used it one time.
Yeah.
I didn't think they could get that cleared. I don't think 50 was having that.
Nah,
50 would have asked for thanks for that. Like, I don't know.
He would have asked for Shady. Shady's gonna be like, nah, where's that bread?
Yeah, right. I mean, of course they're gonna want money, but at the end of the day, it also gives exposure. You know what I'm saying? Because you know,
right.
his last tour right now, so why not? You know, have a way to have his music still resonate.
But you said 50's on a tour?
Yeah, his last tour.
I don't think 50 owns his catalog though.
Huh?
I don't think 50 owns his catalog though, so it probably would have been an.
Okay, so that would play a part in it as well then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interscope. Jimmy, you gotta pay Jimmy, man. Jimmy and Shady.
Well, guys, it was definitely a amazing interview.
Well, we can do this bracket real quick. I want to do it with Justin, but since we got you guys here, we're gonna get your guys' take on this little bracket. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. If you guys are joining us, make sure you guys drop a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Come on, can we just get a thumbs up? Just one thumbs up. The one thumbs up. You know, your boy, the big bad Louis Daddy
came through. He came through. Came through with a legend. He came through with a legend, boy.
Come on,
hey,
man.
Hey, you did. Hey,
come on, y'all. Just a thumbs up, a thumbs up, a like, you know, so we can, you know, get that algorithm in, you know, so we can get some people on here. You know, your boy, the big bad booty daddy just brought just incredible through.
And he did an amazing job.
Yeah, I did
amazing job leading that interview.
Shout
amazing
out to my boy
job.
Reezy, man. I didn't do it wrong. My boy Reezy hit me
yes, sir.
like 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, yo.
Shout out to Reezy as well, man.
Shout
Reezy,
out.
we appreciate you, man.
He did all the negotiations because I was nervous as hell. I'm like, what? I'm like, all right.
You're welcome to my talk. Let's talk. What is it called? Let me talk to you show so you can argue with Trav, man. Give me a tag. I tag me in because sometimes it's be stressing arguing with him.
All right, so
chill with the big bad booty.
It's my name, man. You gonna have to respect that.
It's the name, man. It's the name. Man.
That's his name.
The big bad booty daddy, baby.
Look, he's sweating right now. Look, he's sweating right now.
Big bad booty daddy.
That boy is sweating right now, man. A legend right there. Hey, Ant. That's incredible, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
I can hear your LOB Kennels. You know what that is.
Trav. Hey,
yo, before we get going too, my boy Reezy is really trying his hardest to get us Top Dollar. I don't know why he wants me to interview Top Dollar. He wants me to interview Top Dollar. He feel like me and Top Dollar. He feel like me and Top Dollar will click like best friends. I don't know why, but hopefully that comes through.
Yeah, man. If you can get Top Dollar to come on the show.
I forgot to ask Justin about his beef with his feud with Brooklyn Brawler, man.
But y'all can
I
want
to get that up there.
You can ask Top Dollar exactly what is his feelings about him being released? How was it like? How is WWE now compared to what he's heard about it back then? Like we can get his his thoughts about how the locker room is and everything and what's going on.
Yeah, he's working on that. Reezy's working. I don't know why he feels like me and Top Dollar would be best friends, but he feels like it would be best friends. So,
all right, Trav, I got you, Trav.
That man hurt, boy. That man hurt.
Yo, did you just have DX versus the Wolfpack, bro?
That man hurt.
First bracket.
How you gonna start off with DX versus the
Top Dollar is
Wolfpack?
all elite.
What are you doing? Factions?
Yeah, that's DJ Faye's favorite wrestler, Top Dollar. That's DJ Faye. That's Top Dollar's number one fan right there, DJ Faye. Every week he mentions Top Dollars all the week.
Man.
Top
you know what?
Dollar.
I would have to choose with that bracket, man. I would have to choose DX just because the Wolfpack, man. They had superstars, but DX, man. DX.
Yeah, DX for me too.
Even though my Wolfpack, man, I love Wolfpack, man, but it's DX. It's just how to function. Like they were a unit. Wolfpack was just like put together.
And they added Disco Inferno. Like, come on.
They had Conan, man. No, I love Conan, man. We need to get him on the show.
I'm definitely going with DX simply because I'm going with DX because of a lot of things. For one, they had funny gimmicks, and then they had funny gimmicks. They just had better chemistry. They won all the titles. Besides winning the titles, their stability as a group was better. The Wolfpack, even though I like Kevin Nash, I liked Luger, I liked Sting, I like Macho Man, I like who was inside of Wolfpack and Scott Hall. The thing about the Wolfpack, it was like, when Kevin Nash was champion, Kevin Nash wasn't champion for long. He only held on the belt for like a month or 2 months. It was just like they didn't really build stability as much as I wanted the Wolfpack to build stability because I love the Wolfpack, but definitely DX, 100%.
I think Reed, you going with DX as well?
Oh yeah, DX over the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Nah, I would pick White and Black NWO over DX, but I wouldn't put DX over. I will definitely put DX over the Wolfpack. But the Wolfpack, I don't know. If we're talking themes, though. I always said this when it comes to theme songs, it's neck and neck with the Wolfpack.
Oh yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one.
We can't do that. But as far as stables, the Wolfpack, I mean, they didn't really. I mean,
they were a unit.
Yeah, but they wasn't really about that like DX.
Oh, this is easy for me.
Yeah.
This is easy for me. I'm going with the Nation of Domination.
What? I thought you going with the Hart Foundation.
Nah, I'm going with the Rock, man.
Oh yeah, I'm going with the whole nation, even D-Lo.
Yo, I promise you. I thought when you said that, you was going with the Hart Foundation.
Hell no, I hate every member of that group.
Hey, so who you going with, Si? Who you going with, Si?
The Hart Foundation, man. It's Bret the Hitman, baby.
Nah.
Bret the Hitman, baby.
What about you, Jay? What about you, Jay?
I'm personally, I'm going with the Hart Foundation because
they're
my favorites. So I guess Reezy gonna have to be the tiebreaker for this one.
Tiebreaker for which one?
Nation versus the Hart Foundation.
Nation versus the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
And don't say the Nation because they're black. Don't say Nation because they're black.
No,
it's because they're black. Because they're black. I know why you said that.
Wait, no, I gotta go with the Nation because the Nation, if you go by members, their members will watch the Hart family other than Bret.
We took Owen. They took Owen away from the Hart Foundation.
Other than Bret Hart, who they got?
You got 3 former world champions.
Neidhart's not beating D-Lo.
And Owen.
Who's not being D-Lo?
Neidhart.
Jim Neidhart.
Yeah, he's not being D-Lo, but you had British Bulldog.
Bum.
British Bulldog.
Now, British Bulldog will be all right, but Mark Henry's still crushing them. Mark Henry's still crushing them.
At one point was the man. Like, he was really dope. Like, he
really had steroids.
Until,
Chill.
I think Ron Simmons, honestly, I think Ron Simmons is beating British Bulldog. I'm just saying.
Ron Simmons is beating Bret Hart.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
He chose the Nation phase.
Please, man. I'm going with the 4 Horsemen, man.
We got the 4 Horsemen versus Immortal. You know how I feel about Hulk Hogan.
Okay, so explain to me what Immortal was. That was a group in TNA.
Yeah, that was what the whole locker room was. Immortal.
Nah, I was in the whole locker room. It was like half. Like it was like. It was weird. Jeff Hardy was the leader. Hey, bro, Jeff Hardy did his thing.
Kennedy, Jeff Hardy, Angle.
That was drugged up Jeff Hardy, man. That was Jeff Hardy.
Now, if Jeff Hardy's the leader of any faction, you know there's going to be a lot of rest time. There's going to be a lot of rest time at ringside.
I can't wait. Look, I can't wait till one day we can bring Jeff Hardy.
Yo, but I'm not gonna lie.
One day we can bring Jeff Hardy to the show. One day, just to ask him stuff.
I'm going with Immortal on this one.
Oh man,
what? Why you go with over 4 Horsemen?
Because I wasn't born when the 4 Horsemen. I don't know anything they did.
Bro, you got it. Bro, the interviews, man.
But which 4 Horsemen?
The 4 Horsemen is without Ric Flair, would there be a 4 Horsemen?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
100%. You're right. You know what, Ant? You're right because if you look at Immortal, you got Hollywood Hogan. You got Hogan.
But without Hogan, there's no Immortal. Without Hogan, there's no Immortal.
No,
it would have been called something else. But
you got Jeff Hardy. Who else was inside of?
Yeah, Kennedy. Yeah, Bubba Ray Dudley.
Immortal's better.
Jeff Jarrett, Eric Bischoff.
Even though
Without
Four
Hulk
Horsemen was a
Hogan, it wouldn't
legendary
be
group,
called Immortal.
that is true. The Four Horsemen wasn't really the Four Horsemen without Flair.
Yeah, because
It
come
wasn't.
on.
Yeah.
Can you
Come on, man.
imagine
You had
Tully?
Ann Anderson,
No
man.
disrespect to Tully
You had
Blanchard
Ann
and
Anderson.
Arn
Come
and
on.
Barry Windham. Can you imagine Tully Blanchard as the leader of the Four Horsemen? Come on.
All right, so we going with Immortal.
But
I'm
you guys
going with
hold
Immortal.
up, but y'all forget that the Four Horsemen had Lex Luger, Sting at one point.
So,
Also, they
And
had
it wasn't
other.
even 4 of them; it was 5 of them.
Also, they had other members too. What
So,
Immortal?
Man, y'all talk about that. What about the main event mafia though?
We're gonna
No,
get to
well,
that.
yeah, I was ready for that. I'm
We
ready
get
for
them,
that.
yeah, but only four of them wrestled. Like you had 5 of them, but only 4 of them wrestled. You did have Arn Anderson. You had Chris Benoit at one point. You had
Dean Malenko,
Dean Malenko,
Jeff Jarrett.
Sid Vicious.
I know
Sid
it's
Vicious, yeah, Sid Vicious, yeah, remember that.
Yeah, Sid Vicious, yeah.
Jay,
See,
don't
so
nobody
so
like
come
Mongo.
on now, compete with Immortal versus the Four Horsemen. Who's gonna win?
Immortals winning, man.
No way, no way.
Hulkamania.
Perk
DJ
Hardy.
Faye said Perk Hardy. So who wins, Jay?
So who we going with? The Immortal?
Immortal. DJ Faye says y'all picked Hulk, the Klansman Hogan. Hogan's not a Klansman. Come on, man. Put some respect on his name, man. This dude get caught on tape saying one thing, and all of a sudden he's like, he's a grand dragon. It's a grand dragon.
Yeah, Immortal win. There we
NWO
go.
or main event Mafia.
Man, this is a tough one.
Oh, why?
This is
Why
not a
did you
tough
have to
one
go
at
like
all?
this?
This is NWO. How is this even tough? How is
Nah,
it even
it's tough, bro.
This is tough, man.
Wait, stop. Are you saying
why is it? You know why is it tough? You know why
Those
is it
are 5
tough?
Hall of Famers right there.
You know why is it tough? Why is it tough? If you separate Hulk Hogan, if you separate Kurt Angle, it's NWO.
That's true. It is. It absolutely is.
So it's hard. So that's why it's hard.
But
Now look,
but why? But again, even if you do separate them and you do have NWO, when you look at when they were actually NWO, you would go with the real thing, which is the real NWO. So it's like, don't go to the second-rate NWO. Go with the first-rate NWO.
but look, all right, if we're talking about eras, if we're talking about eras, look at what the main event Mafia did in TNA. They won almost all the titles.
Yeah, but
They
so
did have all the titles.
So the
NWO did not have all the titles.
They did.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Plenty
Not
of
all
times.
the titles. I mean, all the
X-Pac
titles.
had the cruiserweight title.
No, he
Kurt Hennig
didn't.
had-
Not when he was in NWO.
Kurt
Not when he was in
Hennig had-
NWO.
Yes, he did.
Wait, who?
Yes, he did. X-Pac did have a cruiserweight title. He was feuding with Eddie.
Did.
Eddie
He had
Guerrero.
the United States title.
Not in NWO. Not in
He had a
NWO.
United States title run.
They didn't have all the titles. Go look it up. They didn't have all the titles.
Television title.
They didn't have all the titles.
All right,
Yes, they-
wait, hold on. I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah.
I forgot what belt he had because he fought Eddie Guerrero at Sold Out.
For the United States title.
Yeah, the U.S. title. Yeah, right.
Yeah. He beat Hoover 2 for the cruiserweight title. Scott Hall was television champion once.
I'm talking about at one time. At one time.
Who'd y'all pick?
NWO.
I'll go with NWO, but I mean,
Yeah.
just
It was
because
a tough one though. I hate to leave. Yeah, I hate to leave the main event Mafia.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but like I'm just saying, like in the era, man, main event Mafia, man.
So, all right, so Reezy, you going NWO?
NWO over who?
Main event Mafia.
Nah, I gotta go with main event mafia.
I
could
understand. I could understand why you picked them, but it's geez.
I'm going. Okay, so here's my thing. It's different eras. So when it comes to NWO has like 4-5 different eras. If we're talking about the first 2 years of NWO, nobody's touching that. But anything after that, main event mafia kills them. Because NWO's first 2 years is what really people remember. People got to remember after those first 2 years of NWO, that's when they started to add a million different members and shit started to dumb down. Now main event mafia, they was just on the shits all the time. Like
hey, y'all was right. Y'all was right about that cruiserweight. I'm not. Y'all was right about that cruiserweight. Y'all was right.
Main event mafia wasn't really like that. I mean, main event mafia. The only person who was like world champion was like Kurt Angle, right?
Sting was too.
Yeah, Kurt Angle was Sting.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Come on, stop it. Are we talking about comparing a world champion to like the likes of Angle and the Sting to like Hogan? Stop, please. And we're talking about as far as the people who were in the group of NWO. Like whoever was made in Main Event Mafia came from NWO. They were made by NWO. It
But
was
you
just
also
like
got to understand.
you won't have no Main Event Mafia without NWO.
Yeah, it's true.
None
But
of it.
also you got to
That's very
understand. You also got to understand the era. Like like King Rudy said, the era, man. Man, they won all the titles at once. WCW, NWO. I mean, they did have the cruiserweight, but it wasn't at once. Like they didn't have the television title.
right. But also, I'm also doing this now. If you pair, and I want to ask you,
Mhm.
Prime Hogan,
Mhm.
Prime Heel Hogan
Yeah.
versus Perk Angle,
Yeah.
or we can even say Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say Perk Angle since we
Yeah.
talking about the Mafia. Perk Angle
Yeah.
fucking is messing Hogan up.
No, he's not. No,
Yes,
he's
he
what?
is.
Say no?
Prime,
Jumping off
wait, hold on.
stages.
Wait. Prime Hogan.
No.
Was Prime Hogan. I always say this. And before you had Goldberg, before you had Ultimate Warrior.
No, he's talking
before
about
you had Brock
97
Lesnar.
Hogan, I think.
But yeah, that's not Prime
NWO.
Hogan. That's not Prime Hogan.
Prime
wasn't-
Prime Hogan was Goldberg. That's who Prime Hogan was. You was not.
Yeah, no,
beating
but what
Prime
they're saying,
Hogan.
no, sorry, they're saying that Hollywood Hulk Hogan was not Prime Hogan. Just to let y'all know, he was not
Yeah,
Prime
right.
Hogan.
You're right.
Yeah,
Henry.
you're right. You're right.
That was Rebirth Hogan.
Yeah, that's
Right.
Rebirth Hogan.
But Hollywood
Prime-
Hogan's not beating Perk Angle.
No, he is. He is.
No,
No.
he's not.
You know why?
No,
You know
he's
why?
not.
You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. You know why? Because he has NWO. That's why he's beating him.
No.
Hey, okay,
Exactly
okay.
why he's winning.
Yeah, you're right.
No way.
And
You're right.
And before I say this, R.I.P. Scott Hall / Razor Ramon.
Yeah.
But
Bro, he's a genius, man.
yeah, he's a genius. He's a genius. And he helped with the Sting character, but even he would say he ain't fucking with Sting.
But that's Scott Hall though. Scott Hall
Talking
Scott
about
Hall
each
didn't
member.
want to be a main eventer. But
True.
if we're looking at Hollywood Hogan, right?
Right.
Hollywood Hogan was not losing to Kurt Angle.
Yeah,
Think about
because
this.
interference.
Listen, when we had the whole situation with Brett, right? Brett was like, "Yo, I feel like if I was in a ring with Hogan, I would embarrass him." What happened? And the thing about it is, and it's so crazy because at the time, Brett was like my favorite wrestler. When Brett got in the ring with Hollywood Hogan, what happened?
He got squashed.
What exactly? You're not beating Hogan. Hogan was before you had Brock Lesnar, before you had Ultimate Warrior, before you had Goldberg. Hogan was that guy.
Before you had
Hogan
Roman
was
Reigns,
that
yeah,
guy.
you're right. Even though you're a big Hogan fan, a big mega Hogan fan.
I mean, I'm a Hogan fan, but I'm also biased to I'm a Roman Reigns fan, but I'll tell you straight up, Roman Reigns cuts some of the worst. I mean, he used to cut some of the worst promos. His promo skills have gotten better, but I'll definitely tell you, Roman Reigns can't hold a stick to the Miz or to the Rock or to Austin or even the greats. I think he's one of the best, but even in Roman Reigns' reign right now, he's not considered.
Let me ask you. So you think
Hogan
Hogan?
Top 10.
You think Hogan's promo was better than Roman Reigns' promos right now?
Wait. The fact that you're asking that question.
No. Be honest.
Henry,
Be honest. Hogan's promos is what you gonna do, brother?
Take your vitamins.
Take them vitamins.
I can't
Compared to Roman Reigns promos.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. He had charisma. Hold on. Did you hear a promo where Hulk Hogan was talking about how he was taking a flight to the event, and then the plane started going down, and he poked his arms out the side of the planes because his 24 is pythons, and he started flapping his arms to save the plane. Charisma.
But at the time,
look,
but at the time, this is before Attitude Era, so that is fucking charisma.
See,
just
charisma,
imagine Roman Reigns a promo against the Big Show about the Giant. At that time in the 80s, man, that promo would have been fired. Now coming after the Attitude Era promo like that, people are gonna be like, why is this man talking about a giant and a beanstalk?
But you can do it now because you have people like, again, this is the reason why you have people like AJ. I'm sorry, so what's his guy name? MJF. MJF does like stuff like that. MJF, Samoa Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like Adam Cole, like they'll give you narratives. Like even Cody Rhodes did it. Like he was, he just gave you a whole narrative about
no. I'm talking no. I talk about like a PG, like he was telling the whole bedtime story promo.
Yeah, but you're comparing. You're trying to get technical about the promo, and I'm saying that it was the charisma that sold the promo that made it entertaining enough to say that this guy has charisma on the mic, enough
I'll just
charisma
say it's different
sell
eras.
water to a well and make you believe it's something different because he was that good on the mic.
All right, let's get
Like how Esco
He
just
was the
said,
man.
Hogan stunted. He got a point. He's right. He said Hogan stunted the growth of so many wrestlers.
all right, let's get to these brackets.
I don't know. He got sold. I don't know. He got sold because that's a big rumor about how Hogan stunted the growth of a lot of wrestlers. And then when you go back and you look at what the wrestlers say, you look at what the promoters say, and you look at what Hogan say, you begin to understand that some of that had nothing to do because even Justin Preston said it's up to the promoter, the booker, and they get handed a certain character, and certain people can broker in the character, right? And this is what Just Incredible was saying. So that even tells you that even for instance, like the whole situation with Rowdy Piper and Hogan, you know, I guess there's a rumor that Hogan stunted Piper's growth and he prevented him from being world champion. If you even watch the documentary, the reason why Piper never became world champion is because Piper never wanted to lose to Hogan. So Piper was like, yeah, I'll beat Hogan for the title, but I'll never let Hogan beat me for the title. That's why they had a whole feud when Piper went to WCW and Piper was like, you never beat me, Hogan. And then Hogan got his victory. But again, you have what the wrestlers say, and you got what the promoters say, and then you can see from the story itself,
But
whether
yeah,
that person was really holding him back, or
beside,
was that person holding himself?
come on, side. Come on, side.
It is.
Come on, side. Before that, come on, side. It's both, man. It's Hogan doing politics, and it's also what you just said. Hogan, it's two to tango, man. It's not always Hogan was the one that also was doing some stuff that he wanted to be the top guy. It's all about them egos, man. And I don't blame him. If you're the top guy, you want to make that money.
Yeah, wait, Hogan. The thing about Hogan was the top guy. There was no bigger than Hogan.
Full creative control.
Exactly. And that was in WCW. In WWE, he didn't have full creative control. He didn't have that full creative control, but he had influence though. But I'm sorry, Jay.
For a long time. Let's stay focused.
I'm gonna go with DX.
DJ Faye says, I'm sorry, he says, what if Roman did a promo saying the plane was going down and Roman said, he and I stood up and said, acknowledge me, and the plane didn't crash. The reason why the reason why I want to work with Roman Reigns, because how is acknowledging him going to stop the plane? Now, it's not as charismatic as somebody saying they're poking their arms out the side of the plane and flapping their arms. See, that's cartoonish. You can imagine that. But imagine Roman just standing up on a plane saying, acknowledge me, and the plane just starts going back into gravity. It's terrible.
Nah, that reminds me of that.
It's completely terrible.
That reminds me of that Chuck Norris thing, you know, when they used to be like that joke about like, if like I don't drink water, I drink gasoline because I'm Chuck Norris. That's that type of stuff.
Man, I'm going with DX, yo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with DX.
DX.
All right.
Hold up. Who else? Hold up. You gotta ask.
Really, DX of the nation.
Garcia Johnson, thank you for joining us. Can you guys give us a like button? Give us a like. Hit that like button time for us.
DX all day.
All
right.
NWO.
OG, what's going on, OG? You can always go back and catch the replay. What's going on, brother?
Yes, sir.
Y'all going NWO?
Hell yeah.
NWO.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And it comes down to the mighty two.
Ooh. Hey man, I'm sorry, man.
Listen, NWO, they were beating people up and spray painting NWO on their back. It was crazy because I would watch WCW just to see who they would violate every week. They beat up Sting so bad that he said, "I retire."
They sent him up. They sent him up to the Raptors. They sent him up to the Raptors.
Yeah, he came. Yo, this is a crow Sting. Sting came. They tricked him.
He
Bret
cried.
Hart had a match against Hogan. Bret Hart had a match against Hogan. Bret was getting beat up. Sting came in to fill in for Bret. It was all a ploy just to get Sting out of hiding. Once they got Sting out of hiding, all NWO came in the ring, rushed the ring, started beating up Sting. And Rick, or was it Lex Luger? Was it Hogan was like, put him up. Lex Luger put him in the torture rack. He's torture racking him. Yo, they were abusing Sting. Sting was like, they said,
yo.
I would say, I would.
He said, "What do you think about the NWO, brother?" And Sting was like, "NWO,
NWO, brother." Look, I would say NWO because of this, man. NWO in every era, you could do it in every era except for WWE era, but in every era, NWO always had a world champion. DX in the first DX Army era, when they first came back, when Shawn Michaels left, he didn't get a world title until he had to get out of DX. So that's why I claim NWO, brother.
I'm going with DX because they invaded WCW, bro. There's nothing beating that.
Right,
They wouldn't even open the gate for them.
All right, so Reezy, who you got?
This is between who again? My bad.
DX and NWO.
Oh, we said this. Oh, I got DX and NWO. I got. Oh man, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
I got
come
DX.
on, brother.
I got DX.
What you gonna do, brother?
I got DX because I mean, Hollywood Hogan ain't touching Shawn around that time. So,
all right, so I think we have a tie. So I'm gonna go with DX.
The only reason why you're going with DXJ because you're a WWE guy. This bias is is terrible.
Hey, Si, they say you a WWE guy too.
Hey, what's this? The Shield?
I am a WWE
the Shield
guy.
in the Bloodline?
I'll go with the Shield. 3 world champions.
Shield or the
I'm
Bloodline.
Fuck
I'm
the
going
Shield.
with the
I'm going the
Bloodline.
Bloodline.
3 world champions.
The Shield
3
was
world
trash.
champions.
Shield was trash.
Two different.
They were not world. They were not world champions while they were in the
Yeah,
Shield.
they was not world champion while they were the Shield.
Sorry,
They were trash.
Roman.
When they reunited the last time,
Yeah.
they already was all world champions.
But when they reunited, there was only 2 world champions. There
Yep.
wasn't 3, my friend.
No,
And
there
not
was
only
3,
that-
my friend. There was
not
3,
only-
my friend.
They were not all. No, they were not world champions when they reunited.
They were already former world champions.
Right, former, but they not.
Yeah,
They were
former.
not. They were not world champions. With the Bloodline, Roman Reigns unified the world championships titles. The Usos unified the tag titles, and they had the longest reigns as champions. Bloodline all day.
Yeah.
I love the Shield, but Bloodline.
And then you got Solo with his own language. You can't beat that.
Man, Solo was speaking English, man. Solo was speaking English, man.
You know?
All right, who you got,
Shield,
Reezy?
Shield was trash.
You said the Shield was trash? Oh, that.
Yeah, they was trash.
I ain't going that
Crazy.
far.
He's crazy. He's crazy. I told you,
They
man.
wasn't better
Hang
than
on
the
that.
Wyatt family.
He's
I know
crazy.
that.
Hey, I know you didn't roll one for this interview, but I might need you to roll one, man.
Wyatt family over the Shield all day.
He
No.
said DJ Face said Reezy fell asleep house.
I got the Bloodline, man.
All right, who? Come on.
Bloodline.
Garcia Johnson said the Bloodline. What'd you say, Reezy?
Reezy said Bloodline.
They said Bloodline won.
All right, Bloodline, yeah. But without my pick. All right.
I mean, the reason I say Bloodline, I want to throw in there. It's a fact that
Man, you
Roman
can't.
Reigns, that Bloodline Roman Reigns is prime Roman Reigns.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He would smoke Shield Roman Reigns.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
100%.
Oh, this is easy for me.
The Dangerous Alliance. Oh, the Wyatt family or Evolution? Oh, Evolution all day. No
Wyatt
doubt.
family.
about
I'm
it.
going.
Question.
I just spoke about it. I'm going with Wyatt family.
I'm going with Evolution, man. Rest in
Evolution.
peace, Wyatt. Rest in peace, Bray. But that Evolution wasn't getting touched for 2 years.
Right.
You know, Bray was my favorite wrestler. Bray was my
Facts.
favorite.
That man wasn't getting. They weren't getting touched for 2 years.
That's
Man.
word.
That terror, that Triple H terror,
Yeah.
Terror,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Terror Dome.
But
terrorizing everybody in the Raw, man.
it was so bad. His own members had to beat him in order to stop him.
They
that's how
made.
bad
Hey,
it
look,
was.
they made, and they realized Scott Hall was a bad wrestler. I didn't even think Scott Hall was a bad wrestler until Triple H fought him.
Well, I mean, you know what? Let's give Scotty some slack because Scotty was injured and then he was in WC. I mean, that was his WWE run, but his WCW and his Steiner Brothers run as a wrestler, he was amazing.
I know.
Steiner's
I know.
a dope
That's
wrestler.
what I'm saying.
He was
I
just
know,
too damn
but
big
Triple
when he
H-
came to. He had too many muscles when he came to WWE.
Nah,
That's
Triple
what it
H just told him. Triple H just.
So
I told you he terrorized Raw, man, for
I'm
2
going with
years.
I'm going with the Wyatt. Side
Terrorizing Raw for 2 years.
Side went with the Evolution.
All right,
Bro, Triple H.
All right,
Look,
Reed, who you going
Triple
with?
H, and in those 2 years, Triple H was scarier than Undertaker.
No doubt. Garcia Johnson, no doubt. Definitely reincarnated.
Who you got, Henry?
I got Evolution, man. Bro, you ain't stopping Triple H for 2 years. He was scarier than the dead
Reezy,
man.
who you got, Reezy?
Evolution.
All right. Fuck all y'all.
Well, I see what OG said. I disagree with that, OG.
Hey, come on, Ed. Why the
New
Wyatt
Day.
wasn't really winning no goal like that? I love them. I wish they would have, but
You know why? Vince was dead.
New Day or yo, listen, the Nexus could have been, but New Day. I'm sorry.
Nah,
Yeah,
the Nexus.
New Day-
I knew the Nexus
Studios
was.
for me,
I
too.
knew Nexus was gonna go down when they fired Bryan Danielson, man. When they fired him for choking that guy with the tie, I said, "Oh man."
Yeah, I'm going New Day too. That's two New Days.
I'll go New
I
Day.
didn't hear
3
that.
New Days.
Well, who you got, Reezy?
I got New Day easily.
4 New Days. That's an unanimous.
Hey man.
Ravens.
I mean, the
Flacco,
Nexus didn't do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, they could have, but
The
yeah.
Flock and Fortune 4, which really was like 8 of them. It wasn't 4 of them.
Fortune.
I mean, so what did Fortune really do? Like, I mean, I don't know too much.
They
I mean,
just
I know
had
about them,
all the young talent in East. I mean, all the young talent in TNA was Fortune 4. Ric Flair recruited AJ Styles, Bill Money, Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, Nick Out. I know not Nick Aldis, Nigel McGuinness. Yeah, all the guys that was hot at that time in TNA was in this faction. I don't remember Christopher Daniels though. That's weird.
Hey man, they took down Immortal, man. They
Yeah,
were
they
the
took
ones
down-
that took down Immortal.
Yeah, they took down Immortal, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with Fortune.
Or was it AJ Styles in the new main event Mafia? No, that was Aces 8. I'm sorry. But
Garcia
yeah,
Johnson said, "New Day is not a faction; they are a tag team.
Freebirds rules.
I'm sorry,
Nah,
John.
they're a faction.
They're a faction today.
They're a faction.
If it's more than 2 people, that's a
I'm
faction.
going with Fortune 4. Fortune 4 for me, man.
It's Fortune. It's not Fortune 4. It's Fortune.
He
No,
said
it
main
is
event
Fortune
Mafia.
4.
It's Fortune. They don't
No,
call
it's
it
not.
Fortune 4.
Go back and look. It says that's why they got the 2 4s there.
Bro,
Fortune
it's
4.
Fortune. It's Fortune.
All right. You right. I'm wrong.
It's Fortune. Now go ahead, look it up.
You can look it up.
It says it on the
I'm looking
title.
up-
It says it
I'm
on the
looking it up
title.
right now.
Look
It
it
says
up.
it on the title. Fortune.
So who y'all going with?
I'm going with Fortune.
Yeah,
Fortune.
All right, Easy, who you going with?
Fortune.
All right.
That's why they holding up a 4. Fortune 4.
Because of the title FOR means a 4.
Bloodline against Evolution.
Ooh.
Evolution.
Yeah, I'm going
I don't know
Evolution.
because this Roman Reigns is just like that Triple H terrorizing. He terrorizing SmackDown for 3 years now.
Yeah, but Batista was terrorizing. Oh no, he wasn't terrorizing shit really when he was at Evolution. So this is a tough one.
Look.
Yeah, Evolution, bro.
Look, it says it right here. What does it say
Wait,
right
who?
there?
Wait, who? Evolution
Fortune,
of
right?
Bloodline?
Yeah, Evolution over the Bloodline.
Oh man,
He said, to be honest,
Could have been.
this is a hard one. Who else? Everybody. I'm not. Who else? What's the votes?
This one is
Bloodline.
tough because a lot of them, Randy and Batista didn't do nothing really till they left, right? No, Randy won while he was a part of Evolution,
Yeah, he won while he was a part.
Yeah.
but he was too childish for his reign, so we didn't really get a chance to see him splurge. You know, this is tough.
He was only in Evolution for a week, I think.
And they did have all the titles at once, right? Wasn't Rome
Yeah, they did.
Batista
Yeah.
and Flair
Yeah.
tag champ, and then Randy was Intercontinental? Yeah, I'm going Evolution.
Sai.
Yeah, I'm going with Evolution because Evolution had too many great moments.
Yeah,
You had Goldberg in Elimination Chamber. You had what else? You had Scott Steiner's feud with Triple H,
Kevin Nash, all that.
Kevin Nash. You had Triple H fighting feud with Shawn.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's too many great moments. Even though Bloodline has some good moments, but Evolution had better moments.
I'm going with Fortune. I never liked New Day, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fortune.
I'm going with New Day.
Fortune.
New Day.
What's on you, man?
Not as
That's a
great.
close-up. Both groups had all titles.
Oh, it was
And
three. It was three
Flair were
fortunes.
tag team champs.
The-
Wait.
nah.
So is that the end? Is the last two teams?
No, not
Oh, no,
yet,
it's
not
okay.
yet, not yet.
Evolution.
Oh
all
yeah,
day.
evolution.
I'll go with
hands-
Evolution.
Yeah, evolution hands down.
No, I like that matchup because they're both were like reincarnated. What's it called? Four Horsemen. But this one, I'm gonna go with Evolution.
Yeah.
I'm going with DX.
Yeah, DX for me too. Two DXs.
Reezy.
See, I'm going with that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna have to go with Evolution.
Bet.
All right, Jay, you're the tiebreaker right now.
I gotta go with DX.
There we go.
Like Ian said, they invaded WCW.
Yeah, man.
Hey, that is legendary. That is legendary.
All right, and so DX tops the list.
DX is our greatest faction of all time.
I like that one. I like that. Next, we gotta do the promo for on Friday. Hey, Trav, if you want to get on, man, if you want to talk,
You gotta talk to Trav tonight. Y'all gotta talk to Trav tonight, bro.
why does he want to talk to
Trav.
Side?
Yeah, Trav, hit me up. Hit me up in the invite. When we get off, let me know when
Yo,
you're
here we
free so we
gotta
can
stop,
talk.
bro.
Hey, man, the reason why I'm bullying him, man.
Going.
Look, the reason why I be bullying him is because he is not humble, man. He's not humble. Look, one thing he started talking, he's smacking. No, to be honest, bro, I was always on his side when I first came in this chat group. And he pissed me off when he called me Pablo one time. He called me Pablo when my name right there says Henry. He called me Pablo, and I was like, nah, I'm a bully you to it.
Trav, you gotta chill, bro.
He called me Pablo that one time when I first came in. I was like, yo,
come on, babe. You can't do that, babe.
He called me Pablo. I was like, yo, that's not my name,
Pablo,
chill.
bruh.
So hey, he called me Pablo or Jose or something like that. I'm like, yo, my name says it right there, Henry.
Wow.
So that's the reason why, man. Hey, but Trav, you lost. Take the L, man.
Yo, it's old age, man. It's old age.
Hey, hold on. We're here. Look. All right. So I asked Sai on Friday. Let me ask y'all this question so we can clarify this. King, nice to meet you. This is the first time, but let me ask you this question. All right. So me and Trav are arguing about is Jimmy in a solo wrestler, and is he having an all right? Is he gonna have a good solo run?
Can he have a good solo run? I'm sure, but is he a solo wrestler? No. He's a tag team guy.
No, right now in his run right now, is he a solo wrestler or is he a tag team?
He's a solo. No, he's a tag team. No, he's a tag team wrestler.
How?
Who's he tagging with?
He just wanted to. Even though they lost him, he was the tag team champ for Cody. He's been in more tag.
No.
Jay.
Jimmy, my bad. I said
Jay,
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy is a solo.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. Which is which?
Jimmy's the
I'm sorry.
I got the gist of that when he was saying that Jimmy was Jay. Okay, so Jay's with Cody. Jimmy's with the Bloodline.
I think they're both.
Jimmy's on SmackDown
with
Solo,
Roman,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but is he a
Jimmy's
tag
team guy?
But no, is he a tag team right now or is he solo?
I think he tagged him and Solo.
How is he a tag team?
Him
How is
and
he a
Solo.
tag team? He doesn't have a tag team name. He's in a faction, but he's not in a tag team.
I mean, there's a lot of tag teams that don't have tag team names.
No, it's
That's
put up.
true, but I mean,
Is
how
he in
many
a solo
times did
run
they
right
have
now?
tag matches with Solo? He had how many? Okay, did he have more tag matches or more single matches?
I
He's had
think
more tag.
more tag, right?
No,
More tag?
no,
He has more
he
tag.
had only one tag team match with Solo. In this solo run, he had one tag team match with live events and TV events. He had 4 solo wrestling matches compared to one tag team match. Is he a solo or is he a tag team? With those stats.
I'm gonna just say both.
But he's in a solo run right now.
I don't know. I just hope it doesn't go bad for him.
All right, guys. All right, so we at the hour and 30 mark. We just had an amazing interview with Just Incredible, hosted by yours truly, the Big Bad Booty Daddy. And you guys can join us next time as we go live to review AEW with the Big Bad Booty Daddy on Thursday night after AEW Dynamite. And then the next time we go live is Friday after SmackDown. You guys, again, if you guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. If you guys are catching us live right now, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up so that algorithm can hit in and put us on that line so that people who are wrestling fans and your friends who are wrestling fans who may be interested in talking wrestling with a bunch of guys who like to talk wrestling and watch wrestling can join in on the conversation. Drop some comment in the comment sections below, and we will catch you guys later. I am your guy, Saheem the Dream.
I'm your boy Hinduse.
Go ahead, Hold
on. What you about to say?
Before we go Thursday, I might have another guest. He just signed the OVW. I don't know his schedule yet, but I'm still 8:00 Thursday. I'll let y'all know in the chat. But yeah, hopefully I might have 2 OVW guys. I'm working on it. So,
all right, excellent.
Hopefully.
And y'all can catch me at Let Me Talk to You, episode 2 about to drop soon, and I'll be live with the one and only Sai and Jay on Fridays at live. My name is Hinduse, and I'll see you next time.
And we'll catch you guys later. Peace.